Hey there, little ones, come, gather around. Your grandpa's got a fascinating story to share tonight. One that takes us way, way back in time to a world where everyone spoke the same language. Can you imagine that? You see, after the Great Flood, you remember the story of Noah's Ark, right? All people were united and spoke one common tongue. They could understand each other perfectly, no matter where they came from. And these people, well, they were quite ambitious. One day, they had this grand idea. Let's build a city, they said, with a tower so tall it reaches the heavens. They wanted to make a name for themselves, to show how powerful they were. They believed nothing could stop them if they worked together. So they got to work. Day after day, brick by brick, they built this massive tower. The Tower of Babel, they called it. It grew taller and taller, stretching toward the sky like a giant finger pointing to the clouds. People came from far and wide just to see this amazing structure. But you know what, children? Sometimes when we humans get too proud, when we think we're more powerful than we really are, life has a way of teaching us a lesson. And that's exactly what happened here. God looked down at this tower and saw that people were becoming too proud, too focused on their own glory, rather than being humble and caring for each other. So he decided to teach them a lesson they'd never forget. One morning, something extraordinary happened. When the workers came to continue building their tower, suddenly they couldn't understand each other anymore. Someone would say, "Pass me that brick," but it would sound like complete nonsense to others. It was chaos. Imagine being in the middle of a conversation with your friend, and suddenly they're speaking a language you've never heard before. Pretty scary, right? That's exactly what happened at Babel. Unable to communicate, the people couldn't work together anymore. The great tower was never finished, and the people scattered across the earth, forming different communities with different languages. And that, my dear grandchildren, is why we have so many languages in the world today. You know what I think is the most important lesson from this story? It's not about how tall we can build our towers or how powerful we can become. It's about staying humble, working together for good reasons, and respecting each other's differences. Now, whenever you hear people speaking different languages, you can remember this story of the Tower of Babel and how all these beautiful languages we have today came to be. Isn't it amazing how one story can explain so much about our world?